Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of DragonHeart 5 Vengeance, the last DragonHeart movie. For now. So I wasn't a fan of the last movie, so does that mean the series is going downhill? Or does it go back up? Well, let's get into this. This movie opens up with narration saying one day the dragons raised by a Drago left England and travelled throughout the world. Already, this is wrong. Draco is in England, he never left, and one of the 7 dragons that apparently left is dead, aka never left. So already they have gotten their own movie facts wrong, all established in the previous movie, and I don't even remember that. One of them came to a place to help a war-torn country, but something went wrong and was branded a traitor. We are introduced to the hero of the film, Merlin, I mean Lucas. Come on, they look exactly the same.
I'm Merlin.
He is a farmer's boy, and as he comes home he sees these savage raiders who are very interestingly dressed kill his family. The 4 villains, which I'll give their names now, the bear, the scorpion, the wolf, and the snake, they all leave in different directions as they set the house on fire. Basically, they set these guys up as the villains of the story, and honestly, I'm very curious and excited already. Lucas leaves with some cows and heads to the nearby kingdom where the king lives, and he does seem generous to a point. Lucas goes to him and tells them about the raiders that have destroyed like 6 villages at this point and are running amok. The king though just doesn't care to listen to the boy. Lucas sells the cows as he sees a pretty lady, because there's always got to be a love interest in these movies. Her name is Owana or something like that. It's a very difficult kind of name like that. Lucas goes into a bar to hire a hunter, and here we meet the mercenary Darius, who overheard him earlier and wants to help him kill the raiders. And I absolutely love him. He's very Jack Sparrow, swashbuckling mercenary type, and it's just a lot of fun. Like when these drugs in the bar come out acting like they'll help him out, but just steal Lucas's money, and Darius reacts.
Cheers. Sorry. I was aiming for the other hand.
He's very much the comedy of this movie, but also a lot of the heart. He is a very fun character, and I adore him. So they fight, the guards come in and see Lucas, but he deals with them and gets away. During the night, he sneaks into a house to sleep with a pretty decent little transition to daytime as the owner of the house comes down in the morning. Lucas reveals himself as though he was a customer in the blacksmith shop he slept in. He wants to get a sword from him, but lost his money, so tries to sell him his farmland. But in the end, the blacksmith decides to just give him a sword to get him out of there, basically.
Thank you. It's nice to make a friend.
You're not my friend.
But he doesn't want him to do it alone, so he tells him of a dragon who has been known to help if given something in return. In this case, a bag of crop seeds. So he fakes the blacksmith, while also trying to get other stuff from him.
Here. Yeah, well, this one's all old and worn. Can I have another one?
How about I give you another hole in your head?
Next scene, he suddenly has a huge bag of seed with no explanation, but sure. So he travels off to find the dragon with a new rendition of the theme playing, sounding like something out of a Hobbit. Others help show him the way, and eventually he finds an icy cave. He goes inside, and the dragon steals the seed, and then we are introduced to her. Yes, her.
So you're a girl, Dragon?
Girl, you see me wearing a frock?
No, sorry. I meant female.
This time, it's a female dragon, which I have no issues with, and she is voiced by Helena Carter of Tim Burton's fame. So that is an excellent choice. Absolute excellence. She absolutely brings like this, just a fun to the character. And she also looks very cool. Until you realize she's pretty much a weird color of Drago from the previous movie. They even have the same kind of neck and face spikes. It's not subtle at all how lazy they were. She doesn't look anywhere near like her art design in the previous movie. Like she had like these red spikes of hair or something in the artwork, but it really is just a reskin of the previous dragon. They're not his kids, so they shouldn't look the same. It is lazy. Whatever though, Lucas is a bit sexist and almost gets eaten for it.
It's just this job requires a certain amount of savagery, and it might not be suited to the fairer sex.
I'm sure that's turned on a lot of more and vor lovers out there. I'm more of a Draco type though.
You obviously haven't spent enough time around us.
I take it back!
She might also be a bit crazy, having spent like 30 years by herself in this cave.
You were talking to yourself.
No, I wasn't. Was I?
You just did it again.
Oh. Well.
She gives her name Sivith. My god, finally a name that isn't just dragon. I'm sure it is in some language, though.
Mrs. Dragon.
Sivith? My name is Sivith.
Though, also, is that name in Dragon tongue? Because, well, it should be, but it should also be much more complicated than for the sounds of it. You know, just saying.
You couldn't possibly pronounce it in your tongue.
And Lucas tells her what he wants, but she doesn't want to help him because revenge isn't the answer. Lucas leaves angry as Sivith says, not again. So, there's something there with her. Lucas sleeps and wakes up to some horse kisses with a saddle nearby. He just kind of accepts it and just takes them as his now. He then comes across Darius, who scares the crap out of him.
You should see your face. You look like a sheep. When he sees the butcher coming.
I really do love him.
Come here. Oh, it's right. Oh.
He tells of how he got away, got the money back, and how he found him by talking to a bird. And then this is kind of funny as he tries to lighten up Lucas's horse's load to make it easier, but the horse doesn't seem to like Darius.
Oi. Idiot.
So their first target is the bear. Darius knows about the dragon everyone considers a traitor, and when he was a kid, a cart he was in with his parents was run off by the road, and his parents died. He sought out the dragon to help to find the one-eyed man who did it, but the dragon refused, making her seem more like a traitor. The horse is suddenly moody and Darius tries to speak to it, but gets nothing, and then suddenly mentions how gorgeous the view is. Ah, yes, look at that lovely green screen view. Yes, lovely. They tried, so now they reach a spot where Darius tries to trade her with a sword. Again, it's another fun little scene.
You're still over slashing. Needs to feel a little more.
Already, I'm enjoying this movie much more than the previous one. I like Darius, I like the comedy, I like the action, and I'm liking the story of him going after these 4 people that killed his family. It's simple but interesting. And then he's seen talking to worms. Sure, they make it to where the bear will show up and try to figure out what to do. Here as well they discuss why Sivith is considered a traitor. Long ago during wars they always seem to be having, man, older times suck. Sivith came and wanted to help the king, but soon after the king was injured, but she did not give up her heart like the legends told, and insisted that nature needs to just take its course. But the king survived and turned on her along with a villager, making her the hermit she is today. And as the story ends, we see the horse casually pissing on his stuff, and as Darius goes up to the horse, it suddenly changes.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
This is a pretty cool reveal, which she does explain how.
Dragons can change shape.
Yes, males disguise as rocks or water. We take the form of animals.
It's a simple explanation, but it works well enough for me. Though let's be real, so she can travel with him and not have the CGI department put in more work. Here I will say she's an ice dragon, so a lot have speculated she is Drake's mother. Which again, incest, no thank you, stop that. All because Drake knows ice breath. Well, because dragons can just do this. He was simply taught how to use it, compared to other dragons who probably weren't taught. Because how did Quan know he could use ice? Because dragons can just do that. Whatever, in the end, I don't consider it canon until I guess it happens, which it hasn't, so I don't consider it at all. I will say, now that she's out in the day, her CGI is pretty good for straight to DVD, and she does look good. Darius really doesn't want to work with her and doesn't want to be called a dragon lover, which Sivith gives a perfect response to exactly what I would put here.
Have everyone call me a dragon lover? Oh no, you have to choose.
Lucas chooses the dragon though for obvious reason and Darius leaves. As Lucas is out gathering for food, he spots the bear, and the bear is hungry. Meat. So now loads of barbarians show up, but Sivith comes to the rescue. Though she's out of strength thanks to staying in her horse form for too long, so she can't blow ice, and doesn't want to eat them either. She's actually a vegetarian dragon because of her being a hermit. The only friends she had were the animals, and in the end decides she didn't want to eat her friends. That's kinda hilarious. So while Sivith fights, Lucas runs off with the bear in tow. He catches up to him and swings him around, and it's just weirdly hilarious, and then he dies. Good thing he did get one of the more expensive scabbards then. He is so happy while Sivith is all like, you just killed a dude, how are you okay with this? So they're really trying to do the whole thing of like he's going on to the dark side while she's like the good side, and like trying to help him not be so evil. Honestly, it's interesting. Next, they go after the wolf. So Lucas and her travel. We see he has nightmares, and then she is flying around in a nice looking area, but she doesn't take Lucas flying with her, which is kind of weird. He does figure it's to tire him out, so he gives up. They talk about flying and what it's like he really does want to ride her. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. And she does agree to let him ride her, if they go back to town and have a good meal. So Lucas says no. And now we get the fireplace scene of them sitting around at night, talking with the theme music playing. They talk about their homes and his parents and wanting punishment to those who killed them.
My father was so clumsy. Oh, she'd give him grief. That man could not butter bread without dropping it butter side down.
Siveth explains that she just wants to live a noble life, so one day she can ascend to the stars. It's just one of those nice little DragonHeart bonding scenes.
Some laughs along the way wouldn't hurt. Maybe a party. Haven't had a party in years.
Next day they wake up and get bees thrown at them. Now that's a wake up call I don't want. So this is Wolf and his pack. Wolf managed to get to Lucas, but Siveth managed to trick him in her own way. So with him caught, Lucas wants to kill him, but she doesn't want him to be so quick to kill. It's then revealed he's an egg.
Something funny to you.
So they take him to help find the snake's den. As he explains, the scar on his head was, well, he had his scalp taken as his family was murdered, but he got revenge. Basically, the whole thing of like, yeah, Lucas is between good and evil, and he could turn out like him. Now Lucas has a hair change randomly as they reach the den, but so did Darius.
It might work. Nah.
He is about to be attacked, but Siveth saves him, and the snake mentions something about burning notes to a guy, which he then runs into a little hut, but the place is frozen by Siveth. As Daria fights the guard, the snake goes to leave on a horse, but somehow Lucas manages to catch up to her and fights her. But yeah, somehow manages to catch up to a horse. Sure. He does actually manage to hold his own pretty well, considering he's new to sword fighting, while Siveth does help Darius.
I was fine!
The wolf manages to get free of his binds, goes to take a horse, but Siveth saves the day. Was not expecting that level of gore. Lucas is finally stabbed, but he's okay. Siveth finally helps him, but a secret is revealed in a kinda hilarious way. As a child, Darius actually died, but Siveth was there and gave her heart to him, saving his life and bonding them. Honestly, a pretty decent little tryst. Sad we don't get to see what the heart moment looks like, we completely skipped that, which I feel like is important to DragonHeart, I feel. Which they skipped out on it in the fourth movie because they did this whole new thing with the Fireheart. So, yeah, like, give us that moment, it's kinda important. Darius was taken to a monastery being raised by monks. Haha, there's monks in the story, I was getting worried then. No one knew what happened, all he remembered was the one-eyed man, but then he found himself being able to understand animals and even being able to see what Siveth sees, though he hasn't since that day. Not a bad concept, but once again you're making up your own rules and saying whatever you want to fit into the story. I understand expanding on things, but my god, just how many powers do dragons give someone and have? Now you could say that's just what happens when you get a female heart, so I guess that's not a bad thing, and I do love the idea of seeing through their eyes and talking with animals. It's just they keep expanding their powers is all. That's not a good thing to me. That's bad writing. So knowing something is going on, he went and talked with Siveth to get her help, but she refused to help him, so he has hated her ever since. The snake tries to get away, but doesn't get very far. Darius checks out the little hut and finds the man completely frozen and takes the notes.
Beg pardon.
At night, Darius fixes Lucas' haircut, and I do mention losing the wolf, so it's unsure what happened to him. They ask the snake about the scorpion, and once they're done, Darius gives him a sword to kill the snake. He is urging him to kill her while Siveth is urging him not to. But now Siveth gives Darius the truth. There was no one-eyed man. The moment she came here, she didn't trust the king, showing a kind of dark thing he does, and given a choice for peace, he denies it and attacks his enemies in secret, stirring on the wars. He was later injured and was being taken back to the castle. Darius' parents were in the way. So when given the chance to share a heart, for one, it was already too late. She shared it with Darius. And this one-eyed man? It was the enemy's flag. I'm sorry, but why can't you still have a one-eyed driver, but now the blame is on the king? That's dumb. That's really dumb, honestly. But also, Siveth didn't want Darius to blame the king, or else he would have been killed, so that's why she never told him. Back with Lucas, he doesn't kill the snake. They take her into town, into jail, where Awana's dad owns. So she comes down and bumps into Lucas, who happily chats her up. For a second, but Darius comes back over to talk about Scorpion, and then Siveth as a dog drags Lucas away. So now comes another great moment. Siveth has got to help Lucas woo the girl.
This is never gonna work.
Just repeat what I say.
Have you ever actually wooed anyone? Dragon or otherwise?
Of course.
This is a great little moment, and one that just makes you go, yep, this is DragonHeart, alright.
I challenge you to a
I challenge you to a jaw lock?
Do you mean lockjaw?
When I first saw you, I wanted to pounce.
When I first... Right, you know what, this is... Oh.
In the end, he solos it and wins her over. Darius checks out the notes and works out the waiters are actually working for the king. The king comes in and talks to Darius, and boy, he's not threatening at all, especially when he's like tiny looking compared to Darius. And basically he'll deal with the waiters when it suits him best to show he is the big hero. They beat the crap out of him, but don't take him into a jail cell or something, which is kind of weird. And so later, Siveth comes in and gives him plenty of doggy licks. Which is kind of weird when you think about it, her being, you know, the dragon and all. Lucas's little day is over and he tries to get a kiss, but is rejected. But they're both happy, so that's all that really counts. But then dun dun dun, Scorpion Dude is there. He goes into the cell to get the snake out and also stings the father, who early ends up being poisoned. They all meet up as Siveth figures out the famine going on would topple the kingdom, but with these bad guys going around doing worse things, if the king deals with them, he'll be seen as a hero once again. But with the letters, they can show he's corrupted. Then suddenly, fire in the jail. Awana tried to help her father as Siveth reveals herself to the kingdom as she ices the fire away. They rescue them, and the girl is a healer, so she knows how to help her dad. Siveth wants to take down the king, but Lucas just wants to go after the snake and Scorpion, and blames her for all this. Lucas goes off on his own, and Darius goes with him to help, while Siveth sneaks into the castle. They do fight some people in the snow, while Siveth gets her own little fight. At one point, Darius stays behind to protect Lucas as he tells him to leave, but Lucas ends up meeting the Scorpion instead, and gets stabbed. Darius himself gets hit by an arrow, but manages to keep fighting while Siveth is watching the guards and sees the notes. But then Darius calls out for Siveth, allowing her to see what he sees. And so Siveth bursts out of the castle and flies off to meet them, as the king whips up the notes. So Darius fights with the Scorpion while Lucas fights with the snake, being all weird like, I am your mother now. Okay, oh my.
Maybe I'll go back there. You could come. Would you like that? I could be her. Your mother.
Honestly, she is pretty badass and does look very cool. Like, the villains are very obviously villains in a fantasy movie. And I kinda dig it. Lucas kinda getting fucked up while Darius is slowly being drowned, which is affecting Siveth. But Darius manages to kill the Scorpion in the end. And now Siveth flies in and the snake surrenders and says she will tell everyone the king is corrupted. But as soon as Siveth sees the bad shape Lucas is in, straight up murders her. Nice. As he lays there dying, he realizes he let vengeance darken his heart. Ah, that's why it's called DragonHeart 5 Vengeance. So now Darius and Lucas are just lying there, both just half dying. But Darius says to save him, and believes she will return to help him, basically regaining trust in her. And so we get the music theme playing, sounding much more like the original as Lucas finally gets to fly around with Siveth.
I'm flying.
Yes. You're flying.
It is honestly sad and a well done sad scene. Even mentioning the stars and everything, it is a good little scene.
You'll be up there one day, I just know it.
Keep your eyes on the stars, Lucas. Keep looking up.
So he wakes up in the monastery and Oana is there. The king arrives and argues with Sivith, like, who are you gonna believe? And then Darius pops up with the wolf still alive. I guess the arm was frozen, so he wouldn't have bled to death. But yep, he's alive, and he tells everyone that the king is corrupted. Then a bunch of knights come out saying they delivered messages and such and did wrong, blah blah. So he is locked up, and then Monk Dude says Darius could make a good king one day, because they always have to make the main characters kings. Seriously, all the main characters become kings, and could say he will adopt Lucas, and so Lucas becomes king after his death, so they all become kings. And so with Sivith, we learn that she saved half her seeds, just in case, and now the town won't go hungry. How convenient is that? Lucas gives the blacksmith the deed to his farm, but he doesn't want it, he just wants the friend. Nah, how sweet. That was a lot of land though. And so they're all dads, all happy, Sivith flies about, and so yeah, another happy ending.
What a party! Can we have another tomorrow?
This film was much better than the fourth one by a long shot. And honestly, I think I like it more than the third one. I'm not really sure, honestly. There's nothing I really hate about it. I love Darius, he is just a lot of fun. The sword fighting is actually pretty fun, and I don't generally care about it in these particular movies. The villains are quirky, but all pretty cool. Sivith is likable, and up there is a pretty great dragon. There's a few good DragonHeart feeling scenes, maybe not quite enough, but it was telling a different bonded story of Darius, who slowly, learns to trust her, and it is well done. Sure, the story isn't perfect, there are things that could have been better, there are things with Sivith that don't really make sense, like why she's just a hermit and doesn't just, go somewhere else or something. I understand she's bonded to the humans, so why didn't she try harder with him? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But it is a very fun film. That's what it is. It's a very fun film. So I honestly give this movie an 8 out of 10 foxes, which I guess makes this the third best DragonHeart film to me. In general, this is a great movie, so I have to kind of give it a high score. I feel like this is an 8 out of 10. So, it's done. I have watched every DragonHeart movie so far. Yeah, there's another in the works, and I hope you enjoyed this review and the others. I battled with copyright to hell with these movies. It was so bad. The first movie wasn't so bad. The second and third one onward, the second 2, 3, 4, maybe this one, was so bad with copyright. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They would copyright scenes I was in. Which, obviously is my face. You can't copyright that. You can't claim them as yours. They're me. There were scenes where, I was talking over. There was no audio besides me talking. And they were, short little clips, yet for some reason they copyrighted it. So I really had to battle copyright with this with this series, which is ridiculous. I'm giving you guys free advertising. Come on. I love DragonHeart. I'm doing this because I love DragonHeart. So, yeah, let me do these reviews. So, basically I do apologize if the clips are weird or, edited weirdly, because I have to try and shorten them down. I have to, try and get the particular points in there that I want to show. And sometimes that does mean getting rid of, a 5-second part of it or something. And it does get messy, and I do apologize for that. But I hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to our channel, because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.